Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the special edition, a Monday morning special edition of the Swank Tank. Welcome into episode 22. Week 10 is basically in the books. We still have Monday Night Football to go, but Week 10 is in the books. I'm recording this late Sunday night. You're listening Monday morning. Welcome into the show. Welcome into episode 22, and welcome into the Swank Tank. If this is your first time listening, no, we don't normally do Monday morning episodes. Usually it's Monday night and Thursday morning, but different circumstances, different situation this week. I'm flying to Philadelphia. I'll be there all week, have a wedding, seeing some family, all that good stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm recording this late Sunday night. You're going to be listening Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Tuesday, whenever it is. We're fully recapping Week 10. We're doing a full recap of Week 10. Sunday Night Football, as I'm recording this, is in the fourth quarter, but the Steelers are kind of getting mollywomped. They are getting thrown around a little bit on offense. Defense is holding strong. Gadsden has been hurt. There's been some kind of weird plays going on in this game. Jalen Warren absolutely hurdled a man, but it looks like the Chargers are going to pull out that win. That being said, we have a full Week 10 slate to break down. We're just going to do some quick hits, some quick notes, breaking down every game from Week 10. Again, not a normal episode here. It is a Monday morning episode, but we're doing what we can here because while others are sleeping, we are not only awake, but pushing out as much content as possible. So thank you very much for being here. If you're tuning in, watching, listening on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you are, watching this video or listening to this show, I appreciate you very much. Make sure you're following on all the socials at the Swank Tank everywhere. We're growing on YouTube and growing on Instagram pretty fast. TikTok, as you probably know, has over 5.5K followers or right around there. Looking to continue to grow that. One follow helps greatly. So if you're not following already, please make sure and go and do so. Subscribe, comment, interact. I can almost guarantee you I'll be interacting back with you because I am very appreciative of you all. So we're growing, and it's moments like these where I really want to be talking about football. Even it's a late Sunday night right now, but it's moments like these that really matter because while I won't be able to do a Thursday episode, I want to be able to talk Week 10 with you. I want to go over it with you, give you my analysis. So without further ado, let's get into it. Week 10, interesting week. Some big upsets went down. We're going to talk all about that and more here on the Swank Tank, episode 22. Let's get it. Season record has moved to 92-55. We went 6-6 in Week 10 on straight up picks before Sunday Night Football. If the Steelers were to lose, again, you're listening/watching to this after this happened, which I think the Steelers are going to lose, we would then move to 6-7. Not good. And then it would rely on the Eagles to win on Monday Night Football to move us back to 500. On straight up picks, not our best week. And I kind of felt that going into this week, in all honesty. I had a few good reads. The Bears game I had a pretty good read on. Missed with the Ravens game. Let's just get into it. I'll tell you where I'm right. I'll tell you where I'm wrong. We take accountability on this show. I always take accountability for my picks. Everything I post, I have a lot of people saying, oh man, you're wrong on a major video where I am indeed wrong. That is okay. I want that. We take accountability here at the Swank Tank, which separates us from maybe other creators and maybe other shows. So if you want to tell me I'm wrong, please do. Please tell me I'm wrong because I am. And I will put my hand up and say, you're right. But when I am right, I'm going to put my hand up and also take accountability for that. And, take a little old pat on the back there. All right, let's get into it. Raiders move to 2-7. Broncos move to 8-2. Broncos win 10-7. Again, we're going to keep each of these relatively quick. This is quick hits, quick notes for this quick Week 10 preview. Broncos win this game 10-7. This game was disgusting. Just disgusting. 408 total yards in this game. Total yards in this game. We had several teams in the Sunday slate of Week 10 put up more total yards, just themselves, one team, than this game had combined in it. 22 total penalties, 3 interceptions thrown, 20 total first downs, and 8 sacks. This was the most disgusting game of the 2025 NFL season. Without a doubt. There was no other game you could throw at me. None of them. That was as gross as this one was. I knew it'd be ugly, and I knew Denver would win. pretty much hit this one on the head. I just didn't even think it'd be this ugly. I knew it'd be gross, but not quite this gross. Raiders, touchdown on second drive. Then, dramatic pause. Here's their drive chart. So the Raiders scored a touchdown on the second drive of the game. Great. It was Genty. Found a gap on the left side. Fantastic. Then what'd they do? Punt, downs, punt, interception, blocked punt, missed field goal. I have to laugh. That is laughable. Let's do it one more time for fun. So, touchdown on the second drive of the game. Then, punt, downs, punt, interception, blocked punt, missed field goal. That has got to be by far the worst drive chart you have heard of NFL and college football combined over the past 6 weeks. 100%. Atrocious. What I'll say here about Denver is that good teams find a way to win. This offense, we've talked about this for weeks. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, Dobbins, all the pieces. They're so inconsistent. That has been the Broncos' main storyline. They've won 7 straight, and that offense has been so inconsistent. Not necessarily on a game-by-game basis. It's actually more of a quarter-by-quarter basis. One quarter can move the ball with ease, finding the weapons in Sutton. That's where they have success. Getting Sutton involved, getting him some easy looks, some easy targets to create plays in space, giving Dobbins the volume that he needs to be seeing. He's been a phenomenal player for Denver this year. We all know what Sean Payton likes to do. Old school coach, get his best players the ball in space, let them make plays. When the Broncos do that, they are obviously a much better offense than they are when they do this. It gets so stagnant. Bo Nix kind of freezes up a bit. The offense has no rhythm. This offense is literally different every single quarter they play football. I will say this. They've won 7 straight, so they're doing something right. This is probably one of the quietest 7-game win streaks of the past 5 to 10 years in the NFL. Nobody's talking about it. Okay, yeah, people are talking about Denver being 8-2. Guys, this team has won 7 straight. They've beaten the Texans. They've beaten the Eagles in there. Other good teams as well. They have won 7 straight games. So I will sit here and talk bad on the Denver Broncos offensive consistency basically every week at this point is what it feels like. But they continue to find a way to win. The note here, great teams find a way to win. I did say great. I didn't say good. I said great. The Denver Broncos are 8-2. Yes, they still have flaws, 100%. But the way that defense plays, this is what the Texans wanted to be. They felt like they would be this Denver Broncos team this year. And they're not, because their offense is not nearly as productive in their highs as Denver's is, right? Denver went in, or I guess they were in their own building, but came back against the New York Giants, put up, 30-plus in one quarter. The Texans today nearly did that, but not quite. They're not quite there. The Texans. They wanted to be like this 2025 Denver team. Defensive, hard-nosed football. Offensive can get it done maybe when needed to, but not be relied on. That's what Denver kind of is. But it's working. They're 8-2. They win the football game. We move on to the Sunday slate. Falcons, season's over. Fall to 3-6. Colts move to 8-2. Colts win in overtime 31-25. Jonathan Taylor in this game, just absolutely, what? I'm almost at a loss for words at this performance from Jonathan Taylor. 32 carries, 244 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. 83-yard touchdown run was also involved in there. Literally got swallowed up in the middle of a pile for like a 2-yard gain. Kept the feet chopping, somehow bounced it outside, took it to the crib. This was one of the best running back performances we have seen in several years in the NFL. From a pure rushing standpoint, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns on 32 carries. This man needs to be the MVP frontrunner. That is the note. He needs to be the front, the top, however way you want to look at this, best odds or worst odds if you're betting on it in the MVP race. Jonathan Taylor deserves to be the MVP after week 10. That is a fact. There are guys close to him. Stafford, we're going to touch on him later, deserves to be close to him. What Jonathan Taylor is doing this season, he's on pace to have the best running back season of all time as a pure rusher. He's going ballistic. It's insane. It's insane. At least one of the best seasons of all time. Algier here had 2 rushing touchdowns. Bijan's had a rough 3 weeks. It's been rough for him. No easy carries, no easy sledding. Fantasy managers are definitely mad at Bijan Robinson and the Falcons offense. I mean, what is Algier doing? Getting more volume than Bijan, essentially. I don't understand. Colts had 323 total rushing yards in this game, a 40-minute time of possession. I mean, guys, the O-line as well with the Colts, or with Jonathan Taylor, needs to be involved in MVP talks, even though that would never happen. Colts O-line is doing just wonders right now, putting the league week in and week out on notice that they're the best O-line unit in the NFL, and that's been clear for weeks now. The gaps they create for Taylor are incredible, and a lot of credit to the O-line, but Jonathan Taylor is a perfect back for that offense. He's very physical. He's downhill, but when he gets into space, he's elusive at the same time. This man needs to be the front runner for MVP. He needs to be. Guys, the Colts have 22 rushing touchdowns, which leads the league. Let me restate that. The Colts have 22 rushing touchdowns this season. They're 8-2. They have 22 rushing touchdowns as a team. Second behind them, the Bills with 16. They have 6 more rushing touchdowns than the nearest team. The 2025 Indianapolis Colts moved to 8-2. They are dominant. This game was close. I understand that. It went to overtime. But they still offensively look dominant. We move forward. The New York Giants fall to 2-8. The Bears move to 6-3. Bears win 24-20. Dart, 2 rushing touchdowns, left the game with a concussion. Caleb, 2 total touchdowns. Bears were down 10 in the fourth quarter and caused 2 clutch 3-and-outs. Was able to go down, get some points, get the game winner from Caleb on the scramble. Bears get it done. They win 24-20. Note here, Caleb Williams makes this team so damn dynamic, and you expected that from him immediately when he was drafted. You saw what he did at USC. You saw what he did at OU. Used his legs to his greatest ability. How'd they win this game? Yeah, defensive had some big stands, right? And Dart, unfortunately, was out. Caleb Williams' legs. He continues to win games with his legs. That's why he was the number 1 overall pick. Yes, he's a great passer. Yes, he can read defenses pretty well and quickly. He's a great athlete. But it's his elusiveness in the pocket that makes him so damn effective and so dynamic. It's been great, honestly, to watch the flourishing of Caleb Williams in an offense like Ben Johnson's, with weapons like Rome Odunze and DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore and Kyle Monangai and Colston Loveland when they get him going, and Cole Kmet when he's healthy. It's been really fun to watch, I'll be honest with you. The Bears are 6-3. I believe that's their best start in several years now, if I'm not mistaken. Great win. Needed win. Great win. The under hit, by the way. Cha-ching. Bears money line. Cha-ching. I didn't bet Bears money line. I did bet the under. In the snowy, little grimy football game. Giants, the Giants just cannot catch a break. It's very sad. They cannot catch a break. But also, some of this falls on Dabble at the same time. Dart exits, I get it, in the fourth. I believe it's the fourth. And yes, you have a 10-point lead on the road. You have a 10-point lead. Dabble's second half adjustments have been horrific. You look back at that Denver game, just awful. Just awful. You look at this game, just awful. I believe they have had double-digit leads in 4, if it's all 4 of their road games or 4 of their road games, whatever it was, and have lost all 4 of those, something like that. Just no bueno. No bueno. And Daboll's second half adjustments. Listen to this. Giants have given up 81 total points in their last 4 second halves played. So you take the second halves played from the New York Giants in their last 4 games. They have given up 81 total points. Obviously, that's just a hair over 20 points per game given up alone in the second half of their last 4 games. They're crumbling in the second half. They're crumbling when they have the lead. That goes to show that this team is very inexperienced. Daboll's in his 4th year with the New York Giants. Dart, obviously, the rookie, doesn't have a lot of NFL experience. Where Scatterbo is out. Neighbors is out. Theo Johnson in year 2 is their leading receiver. I mean, they have no clutch gene whatsoever. And you can't blame them. Some of that has to do with injury. I get it. But it's a very young team looking at its offensive core specifically. Defensively, you had guys like, Thibodeau and Burns who have, been around the block, a few years now played. But this team just really lacks a clutch gene. They really do. And that's partially injury, that's partially the youth, and that's partially on Daboll. So they have a lot to figure out. Offensively, they need to get healthy. That's going to come with the offseason with Scatterbo and Neighbors both being out for the rest of the season. Lots of questions floating around that coaching staff. Ben Johnson and the Bears on the flip hand, on the other side, phenomenal job. Fighting and crawling back. This team continues to find a way to win. The old Bears don't do that. The Bears of the previous 5 years don't win this game. They win it here. They win 24-20. They move to 6-3. The Buffalo Bills move to 6-3 as well. Or should I say drop to 6-3. The Dolphins move to 3-7. Dolphins win 30-13. This is why I love the NFL. This is why I love the NFL. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. The Bills had won, I believe it was 11 of their last 12 against Miami, it was. They don't lose. Josh Allen does not lose to this Miami team. Josh Allen doesn't lose to this Miami team by 17. They lost by 17 to Tua and Miami Dolphins. Miami, 197 rush yards and caused 3 turnovers. Miami almost ran for 200 on the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. James Cook, 53 rush yards. Guys, this Dolphins rushing defense has been horrific all year. Outside of that Falcons game, horrific all year long. And James Cook only runs for 53 yards. This is why you love the NFL. Because week in and week out, anybody can beat anybody. Especially in this 2025 season, anybody can beat anybody. That's what we have learned. Especially this year. Bills were down 16-0 at halftime. They were skunked in the first half. The Bills against Miami. 0 points at halftime. They ran only 24 plays in the first half. Also, I thought this was hilarious. The Bills were down 17 with 1:15 left and punted. They just completely waved the white flag to surrender. Just go for it, man. What's the worst that's going to happen if you don't get it? The Dolphins need the ball? Okay. What? Kind of pathetic in my mind there. Dolphins continue to play upset ball while the Bills are not built to win when they don't win the turnover battle. That is my point here. The Bills are not built to win when they don't win the turnover battle or when they have too many turnovers. When the Bills are turning, here's the point. When the Bills are turning the ball over, they're losing the football game. The Bills have 8 total turnovers in their 3 losses. It's unacceptable. That defense is not made to go be put in quick turnaround situations, right? That rushing defense has looked rough. They almost gave up 200 on the ground this game to Miami. I get it. A-Chain's a phenomenal player, but 200 almost on the ground alone? This Bills defense is made to barely keep you in games. They cannot win you games. When you turn the ball over, as much as the Bills have in their losses, that defense is going to crumble. That's the problem. Buffalo's issue. When they turn the ball over and put their defense in bad field position, They're cooked. Ironically, they're cooked. Dolphins, huge upset win here. Bills fall to 6-3, and man, their losses have been bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. They have a lot of things to still figure out, as many teams do, but rough loss there for the Buffalo Bills. The Baltimore Ravens move to 4-5. They've won 3 straight. The Vikings fall at home. They move to 4-5 as well. Ravens win 27-19. And I will put my hand up. I was wrong. I had Minnesota winning this game. I like this game to be a shootout. I was wrong. We take accountability here on the Swank Tank. That's what we do. I was wrong. Let's get into it, though. Ravens win 27-19. Team game all around here. You had Naylor with a big game. You had Justice Hill with a touchdown. You had Bateman with a 2-point conversion. And the non-big name guys stepped up big time here. Really for both sides. Vikings to keep it close. Naylor mainly. And Ravens, Justice Hill getting a touchdown in there. It was not the Lamar Jackson show. And it was not really the Derrick Henry show either. They found a way. It was the defensive show. And some guys that maybe aren't the biggest names on the team that got it done here. Ravens, 0 turnovers to the Vikings, 3 turnovers. Vikings started the third quarter, interception, fumble, and then downs. Just common theme we're continuing to see. If you win the turnover battle, 90% of the time you win the game. Most times you win the game. In the NFL, it's how it rolls. You turn that ball over, usually offenses are too good. They're going to make you pay for your mistakes. That is what happened here with the rookie and J.J. McCarthy. Huge win for Baltimore and the Ravens here, who have shown they are very much in it. They are in it. I'm still hesitant, personally, to put them in my playoff picture. I still am. This is a big win for them. Hard loss for Minnesota. I'm still hesitant to put Baltimore in my playoff picture. I think they're going to drop a game that they are very much expected to win at some point during this season that's going to be their dagger. I really do. And they've looked strong. Don't get me wrong. They have looked strong. But let's be real. I mean, they have not been a relatively, I would say, contender, a remote contender this season. They beat Chicago. Call them what you will. They are a contender, quote. I mean somebody like a Seattle, somebody like a Denver, somebody like even a 49ers almost. Somebody that can very much put the pedal to the metal. They have yet to play a team like that or beat a team like that, excuse me. I need to see that first. Ravens, big time win. None taken away from it. Vikings, brutal loss. McCarthy, the inexperience showed here for sure. Baltimore dialed up, some hard looks for him to read. Just wasn't with it today. And I was wrong in this game. Ravens, big time win. Vikings, big time L. Ravens win 27-19. We'll keep this next one very quick. The 2-7 Browns. They fall to 2-7. The Jets win. They move to 2-7. Jets win 27-20. Justin Fields, 54 passing yards. Guys, the Jets won a football game, and Justin Fields had 54 passing yards. What? Week 10 blew my mind. It blew my mind. And the Jets, let's keep going into this game. So Fields had 54 passing yards. The Jets had back-to-back special teams touchdowns in the first quarter. They had a kickoff return for a tutty. Then they make the Browns go 3 and out. Then they take the punt to the crib. Back-to-back touches, back-to-back special teams touchdowns for the New York Jets. Okay. Yeah, we all saw that one coming. Okay. Browns, no turnovers in this game. Just complete ass. Just ass. No turnovers, and you lose to the Jets. Just ass. And the funniest part about this game to me was that the Browns lost on an offsides penalty. The Browns jumping offsides to lose the game is so on brand for them. So on brand. I mean, what do you do? 5 yards. The Jets needed 5 yards to close this game, to win the game, right? To ice it. And what do? You know they're going to try to get you to jump off sides. And what do? You jump off sides. It's so Cleveland Browns to lose a football game by jumping off sides. It's just, it fits their mold so well this year. Browns lose, they move 2-7. Jets win, and why are you winning, New York? Why are you doing it? Jets win 27-20. Just tank. The Browns actually outplayed you here because they're tanking in a more correct fashion. What are you doing winning this game, New York? What are you doing? You loaded up on draft picks. Fantastic. How about you keep continuing to make those draft picks just a little bit better? Actually, I guess those picks actually more rely on the Colts and, the Cowboys. So the Jets relatively can win, but they want to tank. Because what are you doing winning? You're not going anywhere. Just lose, New York. They can't even tank right. Jets win 27-20. We roll forward. The New England Patriots move to 8-2. The Bucs fall to 6-3. Patriots win 28-23. Pats gave up 1 sack and only had 5 penalties and averaged 6.1 yards per rush. Note here, they finally found their running game. It finally popped. And guys, the New England Patriots, we've known they're pretty legit. This was a full-on legit win. Bucs coming off the bye. I understand they're still not fully healthy. Very much get that. No Bucky Irving, no Chris Godwin. Bucs off the bye in their own building with Baker Mayfield and company. Todd Bowles having an extra week to prepare for second-year Drake May, rookie Travion Henderson. This was a culture-defining win for New England. In a lot of reasons. 1, just to win itself. 2, they established the run. 6.1 yards per rush. Number 3, the explosive plays were more than there. And I did not expect, specifically their run game, to succeed and thrive here in this spot nearly as much as it did. Buccaneers' rushing defense overall has been very strong this year. They had a bad game against the Lions a few weeks ago, but outside of that, they've been very strong. Here, the Patriots kind of got whatever they wanted. They really got whatever they wanted. And I did not expect that. I'll be honest with you. Patriots on 3 touchdowns. 3 of their touchdown plays. 1 went for 72 yards. 1 went for 55 yards. 1 went for 69 yards. Along with that, the 6.1 yards per rush. Not only did they run the ball in a very efficient and effective way, the long bomb and the explosiveness was there. And I did not expect that in this specific spot for New England. They have established that they are not only a good team, they're a great team. I mean, this team is 8-2. The New England Patriots are 8-2. They are tied for first in the AFC at 8-2 with the Indianapolis Colts. The 2025 Drake May, Mike Vrabel, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Boutte, New England Patriots, Josh McDaniels, Robert Kraft are 8-2 and just defeated the Bucs on the road. The Bucs off a bye. The Bucs just need to get healthy. I mean, plain and simple. Off game for them. It felt like a lack of identity here for them in a sense. New England established and reaffirmed that identity. The big play was there. The runs were there. Huge win for New England. They moved to 8-2. Next game here, big upset. Saints moved to 2-8. Panthers moved to 5-5. Saints win 17-7. We're gonna keep this one quick. Tyler Shuck, welcome to. I mean, his last name is spelled Shough. Welcome to the show, Shuck. Welcome to the show. 282 yards and 2 touchdowns against a very solid Panthers defense. Bryce Young. Anybody want to guess Bryce Young's stat line out there? If you're guessing 0 touchdowns yet again, you were correct. Great guess. Young, 124 yards and 2 total turnovers. That's it. Guys, this Saints defense has been mediocre this year, relatively middle of the pack. It hasn't been atrocious. It's been feasible in a few spots. Here they played fantastic. Saints defense was nails this game. Panthers, 175 total yards of offense. I'm pausing between everything I'm saying for this game because I'm truly blown away at how inconsistent this damn Panthers team is. Bryce Young, 124 total passing yards. The Panthers, 175 total yards as a team of offense in this game. Big note here. Is it time for a Bryce Young conversation? It's more of a question than a note. Is it time to you for a Bryce Young conversation? 11 touchdowns in the air to a 7 interception. 11 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. That's his interception to touchdown ratio. Bryce Young needs to be playing better with this. I understand the offensive line for him is not great. I understand he doesn't have a ton of weapons to be throwing to outside of Ted McMillan, the rookie. Keep that in mind. He's got to be playing better than this. He has to. I think it's time for a Bryce Young conversation. It's on the horizon. 11 touchdowns through the air to 7 interceptions will not cut it. Will not cut it. Last 2 games combined for Bryce Young. 226 total passing yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 picks. That's completely unacceptable. For this 5-5, looking at playoff aspirations, Panthers team, Bryce Young has to play better. I understand the system's not great. I understand the O-line's not great. I understand his weapons are not great in the air. I get it. He has to be playing better. Plain and simple. 226 total passing yards in 2 games for Bryce Young with 2 picks, no tutties. It's completely unacceptable. A Bryce Young conversation is on the horizon if he continues to play the way he's played, especially over these past 2 games. His longest completion of the entire season is 40 yards. 40. I understand there's more to it than just his level of play. It's system failures. It's not having a lot of weapons to utilize. I get it. A Bryce Young conversation is on the horizon. Saints win 17-7. Next up, another, I believe, upset here. The Jags fall to 5-4. The Texans move to 4-5. Texans win 36-29. Davis Mills gets the start in this game. He goes for 3 total touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, 158 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 total turnovers. Trevor has been so frustrating to watch this year. The Jaguars as a whole have been very frustrating to watch this year if you're a fan of them. Texans had 26 unanswered points in the fourth. 26 unanswered points in the fourth quarter for the Houston Texans. They had 5.9 yards per carry. They were 10 of 15 on third down. They were down 19 points in the fourth quarter, and they won by 7. I was at this game. It was amazing. It was actually horrible through 3 quarters, and then it was amazing. If you know me, you tune into this show regularly, you know I'm a Texans fan. But I try to put that bias aside on the show. Maybe sometimes I fail. It happens sometimes. Most of the times I succeed. Sometimes I fail. This is not even bias. 26 unanswered, completely unacceptable. I mean, there's no other way around it. There's no other way to talk about it. But that's saying that 26 unanswered points in the fourth quarter alone is completely unacceptable. By this Jacksonville Jaguars defense especially. Trevor Lawrence conversation. That's my question to you here. Is there a Trevor Lawrence conversation that's needed to go down? 10 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. We talked about Bryce Young, 11-7. Trevor Lawrence through the air, 10 touchdowns to 7 interceptions through 9 games. He's got to play better. And this Jaguars team, in a similar way, in a sense, to the New York Giants, very much lack a clutch gene. I understand. They beat the Chiefs earlier this year in a close game. They beat the Raiders last week in an overtime game. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Jaguars lack not only consistency, but a clutch gene. And they're relatively, they're not young, they're new. Cohen in year 1. Trevor with Cohen in year 1. They just bring in Jacoby Myers. There was no Brian Thomas in this game. You know, a lot of change. A lot of change for them. But that's not an excuse. This Jaguars team has playoff hopes. You can't be up 19 in the fourth and blow it. Purely cannot. Credit to the Texans. Credit to Davis Mills. Credit to D'Amico Ryans keeping that team together in a game where you're missing your star player, in a game where you were completely out of it for 3 quarters. I was at this game, like I mentioned, and there were fans filing out the door at the end of the third quarter. Couldn't blame them, in all honesty, because of how this team has looked offensively really all season long. Even with Davis Mills, still. It's been bad. But in the fourth quarter, it clicked. They got the touchdown. They got a one-hand 2-point conversion from Nico Collins, which really turned the game around. Big sack, big-time defensive plays when needed down the stretch. It fell apart for Jacksonville. Huge win here for Houston to relatively keep their season alive. They moved to 4-5, and we move forward. We move into this 3 o'clock slate that was absolutely lopsided. This had to be the highest scoring 3 o'clock slate of the year, for sure. And it was only 3 games. The winnings teams of these 3 o'clock, there was 3 games, right? There was the Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, Lions, Commanders. These 3 games, the winners of these games scored 44, 44, and 42. We actually had the exact same score for two of these 3 games, 44 to 22. Score fest, lopsided shootouts. Just demolishing. The winners demolished the losers. Let's get into it. Cardinals fall to 3-6. Seahawks move to 7-2. Seahawks win this game 44-22. Seattle was up 35-0 with 8:33 left in the second quarter. 35-0 with 8:33 left in the second quarter. What? We know the Seattle team is dynamic. We know they're fast. They're versatile. They're very well balanced. But what? I don't care what freaking team we're talking about. 35 points in, what is that? 15 plus 7 in 22 minutes of game time? That's embarrassing for the Cardinals. Embarrassing. DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrese Knight had a little 1-2 punch going on. DeMarcus, 2 stripped fumbles forced. 2 fumbles forced. And then Tyrese Knight recovered both, took him to the crib for touchdowns. Little 1-2 punch, little Tyrese Knight, DeMarcus Robinson, 1-2 punch going on in Seattle this game. Sam Darnold threw this ball 12 times. They scored 44 points and he threw the ball 12 times. 10 of 12 on, obviously, 12 passing attempts. This box score literally is insane to look at. This Seattle team, here's the note, is very, very scary. Darnold still has a few turnover issues. That's their one point you can maybe look at as the season progresses, saying this is why they can't do it. This is why they can't win the bowl. That's where I look at least. Darnold's turnover issues, whether it be fumbles or picks, however it may come, he still has some turnover issues. Putting those aside, Seattle can beat you in any phase of the game. Special teams, defensively, offensively. They can beat you at all 3 phases. All 3. Easily. Seattle goes to LA next week to take on the Rams in a huge game. Both those teams are 7-2 in division matchup. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest games of the season to this point, to what will be week 11. Keep an eye on that. This Seattle team is so scary because they can beat you in all 3 phases. 100%. They're fast. They're dynamic. They can beat you in any phase. And they were up 35-0 with 8:33 in the second quarter. They win 44-22. Speaking of the Rams move to 7-2. 49ers drop to 6-4. Rams win 42-26. Stafford, 280 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. Kyron Williams, 2 touchdowns. Mac Jones, 319 and 3 touchdowns. The Rams, look at this. They put up 42. Stafford goes 280 and 4. The Rams had 0 penalties 0 turnovers, and 1 sack given up. I'm going to say it again for emphasis. The Rams against the 49ers in this game had 0 penalties, 0 turnovers, and only 1 sack given up. They played as perfect as you can play. 0 turnovers and 0 penalties alone. Then you only give up 1 sack. Guys, they played perfect. They played perfect. Nearly perfect. Instant win. You show me that box score, I don't care who it is. It's an instant win. Stafford has thrown for 13 touchdowns in his past 3 games combined. He had 5 against Jacksonville. He had 4 the week before this one. And then, damn it, he had 4 against the freaking 49ers. 13 total passing touchdowns for Matthew Stafford in his past 3 games. Along with that, 0 picks. He has 2 picks on the season. Guess, Matthew Stafford has 25 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the year. MVP? MVP. Him and Taylor. It needs to be Jonathan Taylor, Matthew Stafford, close, right behind him, everybody else. I don't want to see Mahomes up there. God, for sure, I don't want to be seeing Josh Allen's name up there. No way. Daniel Jones can remain somewhat up there. It's Taylor. It's Stafford. Nobody else at this moment in time should be close, sniffing it whatsoever. 49ers have given up 92 points total over their last 3 games. They've lost their identity, and that comes with injuries. There's no Bosa. When they lost Fred Warner, that's been the biggest blow. Fred Warner, their defensive leader, their defensive captain. Once they lost him, I believe it was in that Falcons game, it's been all downhill because their last 3 games have given up 92 points. Unacceptable. They're 6-4. They're just hanging by a thread. Brock Purdy apparently does not want to play football ever again. Turf toe. No idea what's going on with him. I do know what's going on with the Rams. Matthew Stafford's a freaking MVP candidate. Rams win big, 42-26. Last game I'm going to recap here. The Lions moved to 6-3. Commanders fall to 3-7. Lions win 44-22. The Lions had 546 total yards of offense, 6.8 yards per rush, 8 yards per play, and 0 sacks given up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not even the craziest part. The Lions scored on every single possession of the game. Every single one, besides when they took a knee. Every one. They had 8 drives in this game before they ended up taking a knee for the win. They scored on all 8 of them. All of them. Ridiculous. Obviously, this was my favorite bet. My Swank tank of the week. My favorite bet is my Swank tank. Was Lions -8. That was the freest cover of all time. They came out firing. Dan Campbell took over play calling from offensive coordinator John Morton. Something to note there as the season goes along. They scored in every possession. That Commanders team was seriously dead in the water. Now they've been removed for the water and buried. It's sad. It's sad. No Jane Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. It is way more than over. It's been a nightmare season for the Washington Commanders. Offensively, defensively, structurally, injury-wise, it's been a nightmare. A pure nightmare. Lions, we knew this was coming. Off the tough loss against Minnesota, against this defense that the Commanders have, it's bottom 5 overall. My gut told me to stack Lions or stack Rams. I didn't do either, and I regret it, DFS-wise. We're going to talk more DFS on this show. I want to continue to kind of lead that path and be, there's a lot of fantasy talk out there. That's great. I love to talk fantasy. I want to talk more DFS on this show. I kind of want to go in that direction because that's what I love to do on Sundays. I love to play fantasy. Don't get me wrong. Not a lot of people talk DFS. So we're going to start talking about that a little bit more. I touch on it. We're going to start talking about that more and integrating it more into the show. I wanted to stack Lions. I wanted to stack Rams. I didn't do either. And I very much regret it. Hindsight's 2020. Lions win 44-22, establish their dominance. What did we talk about last week? Gibbs makes this team go. What did Gibbs do here? Phenomenal game. believe he has 2 total touchdowns. I mean, the Lions had whatever they wanted. They scored in every possession. Ridiculous. Lions win 44-22. And the Chargers have just won Sunday Night Football. By the way, I believe the final score is 25-10, if I'm not mistaken. And the Chargers get the big-time win. Steelers, it is coming to fruition for the Baltimore Ravens. They are, I believe, only just a game back now. I believe they are. 4-5 and 5-4. Wow. Falling apart for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Offensively especially. Defense kind of did their job for the most part this game on Sunday Night Football. Steelers offensively just look rough. Really do. When they can't utilize their tight ends how they want to and control the clock, it's rough because they rely on that defense to get turnovers. Those turnovers create short field. You use the tight ends in the short field. You run the clock. You use the running backs in that short field. You drive it in. You drive it home. When they're not able to do that, they very much fail to move the ball consistently. Chargers get a big-time win. That moves our season record to, we're doing in-show math, 92-56. As we go to 6-7 in Week 10 so far before Monday Night Football. Keep that noted because I do think the Eagles are really going to win. And that is our quick Week 10 recap. That is going to wrap up our show. Oh, psych. Swank Spanks. We went 3-3 this week. Another in-show adjustment. We went 3-3 in Week 10. I mean, nothing crazy to write home about, but we are 32-28 on the season. 3-3. The Swank Tank hit Lions -8. I mean, 32-28, we take that. We're above 500, broke even on the slate. If not barely, actually went above even with our tank. That I put more than a unit on my tank every week. But we moved to 32-28 on bets, 3-3 in Week 10. You know, prediction-wise, very mid. Betting-wise, very mid. DFS-wise, didn't do great. Very mid-week for my predictions. And I put the hand up. And I'm willing to say that. Because not every week you're going to hit gold, especially in the NFL, where every given Sunday, a team can beat a different team. You saw that with Miami. You saw that with the Saints. That's why I love the NFL. That's why I love doing this show. And that's why I love all of you. Thank you for tuning in to this quick Week 10 recap. Understand it's a little different show than what you're maybe used to if you continuously tune in. But we're dealing with the cards that we have been dealt. I'm very excited for my Philly trip. Lots of content still coming to you this week. Trust me. I'll be posting my picks for the week later in the week, DFS, all that good stuff, all that good content, and more throughout the week. Don't think we're going anywhere because we're sticking around. I will see you next Monday. We will recap Week 11. Have a great start to your week. Enjoy it. Hopefully you won some money. Hopefully you won some fantasy. And hopefully you enjoyed this Week 10 recap. Have a great start to your week. Look forward to all the content coming out this week at the Swank Tank on all the socials, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Make sure you go and follow if you are not. We're growing slowly but surely. We're getting there. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your Week 11. Watch out for all that good content. And we will see you soon. Have a good one.